All I wanted to say is about Rugby League betting review for tonight's live games. Obviously, the main one is the top of the table clash. Hull FC travel over the Pennines to Warrington. They take a 4 point starting handicap with them as well. It's two best sides in the league. I mean, I think pretty much think this will be a dress rehearsal for the grand final. I do think as things stand, I do think these two teams could well contest the grand final, but in October. I mean, Hull in fantastic form. They've only lost once since March. That was at Leeds. They had a really bad beating at Widnes back in March. I think the fans were calling for Leeds for the game. They only lost once, so had some brilliant wins. St Helens away in the cup, obviously Wigan away in the league. So some big games have won already this season, and all certainly know how to win. Warrington have had some dodgy results away from the Helliwell Jones. I think most notably the Magic game when they were badly beaten by Castleford. But I think at home they only lost once. That was to St Helens all season. I think every win they've had this season been by at least 10 points. So they're very consistent at home the wire this year. So I think as things stand, I do think the Wire can cover the 4 point handicap tonight. Their own form is very impressive. This could possibly be a game too far for Hull. Like I said, they've been the form team, and they're absolutely out of the skins. But like I said, I do think that Wire can avenge the defeat that they had at the Cairncross Stadium a few months ago. I think it was Easter Monday when Hull beat them. So I mean, it could be tough. Like I said, be very careful. I think squad management could be the name of the day at the moment for both sides really. I mean, this is a big game. Don't get me wrong, but Ball's only like 7 games left till 23 games split. We've seen both these teams are comfortable in the top 8. They're going in the top 4. They're going to have the extra home game. It's a long way till the actually 30 games, which decides the lineup for the playoffs. And I think the big cup games are coming at the end of the month. This could be a bit of squad management on the horizon for both teams. I think it'll be tight. I really do. I think it'll be 10's tight at fair. Maybe 6 to 10 points. And both teams will be looking to set a marker. Like I say, I mean, Hull could go 4 points clear with a win, which would be massive. And but Warrington obviously they'd go back top on goal difference if they can win. I just fancy them to do that. Like I said, they're about 8 to 13, which is a fair enough price. I mean, you'd want more than 13 to 8 for the team to win at Warrington. Even probably the best side in the league so far. Hull, you'd want probably on a bit more than that. So yeah, I do think 8 to 13 is fair enough. You give your stats about 5 to 4, 6 to 5 on the half time, full time if that's where you're at. Like I say, about 6 to 10 point Warrington are fancying this one. But they're justified favourites for me in this. Like I said, I just think they might just sneak back to the top of the table. So we've got playing the try scores. Obviously scored again first try again last week. Ben Curry 14 to 1. He's one of the top try scorers in the league again. He was the same last year. Very consistent getting over the line. Always seems to get missed by the bookies there. Curry scored a first try about 14 to 1. But tell you what, the real battle of the game could be a prop. With the Burgess boys all back now. Sir James Graham all in the England setup. There could be a big battle between Chris Hill and real informed Scott Taylor for me for their other prop spot on the England side for the Four Nations. And I think about 6 to 1 Scott Taylor scored a try any time in the game. That looks decent value to me. It really does. I think I'll probably win my value bet of the game. Moving on to the man of the match. I mentioned Chris Hill. I think there could be a really two big packs, two big forward packs. I think Hill at 33 to 1 for man of the matches. That's kind of where I'd be looking. That's really good value. Like it's hard to split. You've got Sandow 6 to 1 match with an 8 to 1. They're the market leaders. Really hard to split them. They've obviously Gilly come in the equation and Darryl Clark who've been playing well recently. I just fancy Chris Hill 33 to 1. He's landed big odds for us in the past. I think it was the game against Salford. So I wouldn't be too that. That's a good bit of value in what is a really tough market. As for Holly, I think you all know by now. The player of the season so far is Danny Horton. He's a tackle machine. Scott Taylor, again, I'm mentioning the try score. He's very tempting at 28 to 1, but has to be Horton for me at about 16 to 1. I think if Hull to win this game, he's going to have to play a really big part. And obviously, we know Steve Hull looks a hooker. So about 16 to 1 for Hull. He's a real tackle machine. He's right up there in the stats. Like I said, he's going to be pushing Hodgson and Roby really hard for a spot on the England side at the end of the season. I mean, Shaw will come in the equation, probably did the form full back in Super League so far this season, but I said be Horton and Hill for me. There's two other games tonight. I think fans watching the game last week, they fancied themselves at 9 to 4 to beat Wigan. But for me, I'd rather have the 8 point start. I think Wigan have won by 1 to 12 points 7 times this season. I don't fancy them covering 8 points on the handicap. We don't really fancy them get beat either. They've had some decent results on the shows. Obviously, the controversial win at Castleford, but they were more than worthy of a win at Salford, albeit by 3 points last week. So you probably think Wigan might get over the line at 8 to 15, but you probably want 15 to 8, probably a bit more than that for the Robins to win this. But again, like I said, you do fancy that Hull could probably stay inside an 8 point handicap. This will be another tie game, which will be a decent game. but the fans going to Craven Park for this one. So I just fancy the Robins on the handicap. In the final game, really, the bookies find it hard to split. Really good game, could go either way. Is Leeds just conceded 2 points starting handicap to Salford. Um, both these sides had valiant defeats last week. I think Leeds are much better, much improved against Catalan by all accounts. And Salford, like I say, they pushed Wigan all the way. I think Wigan was a better team, but Salford managed to stay with them. Only lost by 3 points in the end. So that was a good effort from both sides. If pushed, I'd probably just go for Salford in this one. I think the form's been a little bit more impressive over the last few weeks. They've had a couple of decent wins, but like I said, I think I'd rather take the insurance of the 2 points down the handicap for Salford as opposed to the Lambert at the 64 odds to win the game. If you disagree with me, it Leeds backers. I mean, I'd probably take the 4-6 that they win the game as opposed to conceding 2 points on the handicap. It's really is one of them games that could go either way. Probably best watched. I think it will be quite entertaining affair. Like to say that Leeds are absolutely destined for the middle eight now, which is fair enough. That's the only way they can get in out of that now. But I mean, they've still got 9th and 10th place to play for, and 9th and 10th place will obviously get you the extra home game in the Super 8, which I think will be massive for Leeds especially. And I think so this is a big game, and obviously for Salford, if they get their points back. There's a lot of clubs like St Helens, Castleford, Wakefield will be looking over the shoulder. So you never know if this appeal works out for the Red Devils. This could turn out to be a massive game for them if they could win it. But like I say, even then, they're still, I think 9th and 10th is massive this year. To go into the middle eight with that 4th home game and 3 away from them. Like I say, there's more games coming up. We've got the Catalan St Helens live on Sky tomorrow. But then we'll be back again next week. So, but as always, please gamble responsibly, and we'll see you soon.